There is no product placement disclaimer on this channel because I do not take money or equipment in exchange for reviews, and I never will.
Broadcast Coffee from Seattle. They are an amazing company, and their coffee is amazing. And they do good work for the community. So, boys and girls, you have just watched 20 reviews of the Walrus ACS1, telling you it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm here to tell you why it ain't. I hate to do that. I certainly will be reviewing some gear that I love. This ain't one of them. Little tiny bit of background. I have owned a bajillion Fender amps. I just sold a 66 Fender Princeton Reverb, an original one. I have played Marshalls, don't particularly like them. I have played Voxes, do like them. I love Fenders. I bring this up because this little box purports to simulate Voxes, Marshalls, and Fenders. This is a stereo in, stereo out device, which allows you to run, for example, a Vox and a Fender, or a Marshall and a Vox, or a Marshall and a Fender. It also comes with 6 cabs. You can put your own IR files into here. Those are impulse response files. But it comes with 2 Fender-y cabs, 2 Voxy cabs, and 2 Marshall cabs, Marshall type cabs. I have focused on the Fender setting. I actually set this up on my board originally with Vox and Fender, which was kind of nice. I got a little Vox chime on top of my Fender. The first week I had this thing, I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Then I decided to just focus on Fender because I know Fenders really well. I love them, and because I was starting to become dissatisfied with this thing. You should not buy this. You should buy an AX8 or a used AXFX or a used Helix. That for many people, if you want a really good modeling experience, this ain't gonna do it. And if you spend a little more money, you will probably get a device that can also do a whole slew of effects for you. About the only person that I think should own this, or for that matter, a Strymon Iridium, because I've played with them too, is someone who has an FR speaker and has a pedal board, and that's all they want to bring to the gig, which was my plan. I'm building myself a big-ass pedal board, and after watching reviews and listening to sound files, I bought this. Takes up very little real estate. It was like, great, got a pedal board, got the speaker, don't need nothing else, love it, no fragile tube amp, great. I loved it for a week. After about a week, I started feeling that there was a sterility in the upper mids. There was some ringiness in the high end that was not present in my AXFX, not present in my Fender. It was like this weird artifact or this weird hyping of a frequency. But if I had to, after a couple of weeks, I finally narrowed it down to, yeah, there's a little more fizz, there's a little more ring, but there's also a hollowness. There was no girth. There was no punch in the gut. I could turn the thing up loud and I got a sterile recording of an amp. It was actually much less effective at modeling an amp and a cab than the fairly old technology of my AXFX2. I don't even know how long have I had that thing? 10 years? I don't even know. It wasn't even close. So my advice to you is get a tube amp. If you like modelers, get a better modeler. This thing is not cheap. I don't remember the list on it, but it's like 300 plus bucks. You could get a decent brand new or used modeler that is capable of effects, many, many amps, many, many cabs, many, many microphones, all modeled for you. And you can mix and match them to your heart's content. With an AX2, you can do that in stereo. Get something better. Or go to a tube amp. The only way I would recommend this or the Iridium is if you you already have invested in an FR speaker, which is full range flat response for those who don't know. It's what people who use modelers use, although some people just model the amp and then go into a real guitar cab, which I think is probably a better idea. The only reason you'd want to use this is a space constraint, right? You've got space on your board for one little stomp box, and you just want to carry your board and your, in my case, nice lightweight atomic CLR Neo wedge, which is 35 pounds, loud as hell, accurate as hell, rugged as hell. I love the thing. Great. The only problem was this thing is hollow. There's a kind of scooped out emptiness to it and a kind of weird over-ringiness to it. I think a lot of the sound samples you hear on these reviews are people who have added compression, reverb, EQ, post-production. I'm actually not going to do any sound files. I will in some other reviews, but the best thing to do if you really want to check this out is buy it from somebody like Sweetwater that will let you return it, or find it in a local music store, plug it into the kind of, speaker or amp and speaker you want to use, and turn it up loud and see what you think. This sounds like a badly recorded Fender amp, like a Fender amp that went through some weird parametric EQ that sucked the life out of some weird narrow frequencies and hyped others. I'm not going to talk about touch sensitivity. I can get touch sensitivity out of a Jackson Golden Boy. I mean, there are plenty, or the JHS Twin 12. There are a bajillion transistor-based overdrives and distortions and fuzzes that I feel you can get really great touch response. I'm one of those odd people that don't actually like my amp overdriving. Whether it was my Princeton, which I modified to have a master volume, or whether it's my replacement amp. You'll be shocked that I sold this vintage piece of gear for a Fender Blues Deluxe reissue, an amp that people love to hate, but I did. I like a loud, clear amp, and if I want distortion on it, I will get one or more dirt/fuzz boxes in the chain and go to town. And I will be doing a review on the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Blues Deluxe, including an extremely easy tube change that you can make for, I don't know, $15 that will make it a much better amp. But today, I'm telling you, this thing is overpriced and underperforming. It ain't worth it. I promise you the next review will be about something I love. All right? Thank you very much. Have a good day. If you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks.